the drinks are on my mind. The decision sets in, one that will churn your skin. The love is right, let them have their time. And I have this notion, let's keep these wheels in motion. In motion. You thought I did not know. Did you think I would let it go? Oh no. And in time, yes, I'll think it's absurd, but until then you'll leave your words. But lay on, lay on. Now it's time to defend your lies, lies you've been feeding me all this time. And will you reoffend? Oh, darling. You say that you are innocent, but your words, they seem irrelevant, but still play on. Now it's time to defend your lies, lies you've been feeding me all this time. And will you reoffend? Oh, darling. Oh, you have reached your lover's end. No more will we make pretend like we something to fight for. Oh. We had nothing to fight for.
Good morning. Right, we're back. I say we're back. I'm back. You're all still here. It is Stint 8. So without further ado, let's do a couple of things. Firstly, let's join Jaeger in the chat like that. 1 second. And yeah, let's get some handover action going, shall we? Boomshanker.
Evo is 1 minute into his final lap.
Good morning.
So I had a little bit of racing action and I had a little bit of sing-along, so all good.
What did you sing in the end?
That one. You know the famous German band Modern Talking?
Yeah, I do.
You do? Okay, so Chad didn't. most of them. But yeah, so reactions were a bit mixed.
So they said sing monkey, they didn't tell you what.
No, for this I decided on my own to choose the artist and the song, but
Good.
it is now like we will get a poll probably. Then for the next one, so they just told me we have a Spa 24 and Le Mans 24. So and I said every 24-hour race when I do a night stint, a night shift, I will sing. So that's 2 more songs at least.
Yeah, rather you than me,
This
mate.
year.
Rather you than me. So we've got the first handover. That's Gecko Racer out and running.
Yeah, 1 minute the gap between Evo and Pyrex, so he managed to increase that gap.
That's insane, isn't it? I mean, it was 10 seconds when you took
we
over.
started with 10, 11 seconds or so, and now it's 1 minute.
It's going to be an interesting next stint here, isn't it? Because we've got who are we waiting for now? We're waiting for where is he? Let's have a little scroll through. He's here somewhere. There he is, Neo.
Neo, he was doing a stint earlier.
Yeah, he's going to have to pull out some Matrix stuff to make up that minute. But what a stint for Evo.
Also
Was that
Evo?
He didn't go. He didn't. I think he's probably the closest we've had to sub 44, but
44-0. Yeah.
It's
He was
inhuman.
capable of doing 43. Yeah, definitely.
If this was the Middle Ages, he would have been burnt as a witch.
Maybe yes. That definitely said he's from a different planet, different universe, different stratosphere. I don't know what are the words for this. Is unbelievable.
Well,
So,
some say he doesn't see the graphics. He just sees
Coming
like the Matrix, like the numbers and the green numbers just floating down the screen.
Maybe that's how he's seeing those races. Incredible. So P3 into the pits.
And that's Kazar. So that will be he'll be replaced by who's he being replaced by? Where's he gone?
A race sound driver.
Yeah, I'm trying to find him. Hang on, I think I scrolled straight past him. It's Lexus, isn't it?
Ost? Maybe Ost?
Yeah, it is Ost. Completely right, yeah. Yeah, it's the other McLaren, isn't it?
Yeah. Ost was in the chat, said he he's awake. Yay! He got a shower. Yay! So he seems to be ready. So P4 Race Asylum 2.
That's honouring the Lexus, isn't it?
Yep.
So that will be Paymay's back.
Oh, he had a cracking stint.
He did. Put Honour in a good position. Honour's held that for him.
Yep.
Did close that clock well in 5th, 29 seconds.
That's true, yeah, and they benefited, like P6, the Loose Moose team. They had a little bit of a whoopsie during their final pit stop. They pressed do not refuel. Oops, yeah. had to do pit out, pit in, refuel, pit out. So
Too much coffee this time in the morning, that's what it is. Got hands got
yeah, too excited about quick.
my turn. So that's
Just
Paymay out on track.
Right, Witt is now in for Sector 7.
So he'll be replaced. That's Aero, isn't it? Oh, is it Aero? I don't know which one is it. Oh no, it's Mazda. Mazda's coming out because it's the it's the blue one. Blue and orange one, isn't it?
Yeah. Mr. SBS for Loose Moose Racing in. And 1 minute gap to the next driver.
And it's Aslam.
And here we go. Coming to a stop now.
And off.
So
goes
I'm
Aslam.
Mullet.
He's out.
Syndicate Racing it is. Through the formerly chicane known as bus stop or something like that. I still will call it bus stop.
Yeah, the Le Mans chicane doesn't sound right.
The Le Mans chicane, yeah, really.
Loose Moose is
So
next.
here we go.
Where's he gone? I've lost him.
Into the pits they go. Waiting. So viewers are leaving my stream. That's good because the action continues over with Pirate Stint number 8.
It does indeed.
It
It'll
does,
be even
yeah.
better when I find there he is. McNaughty's coming out now.
It's a black car.
Yeah, yeah.
So Fuzzy Bunny, another black car. That's the other. Sector 7. Now into the pits. Same goes for Super Verdu and Brohawk. So they're quite close. 5 to 7 seconds separates those three cars.
So Brohawk did close that gap a little bit for AHR, and they've got James in the car now as well.
Yeah.
So
James is driving.
He's super quick. So could be an interesting battle because that's Aero just coming out now for Sector 7. And it's 5. So there's Gelf out for MRL. That's only 5.2 seconds, and we know Gelf's capable of a quick lap. 7 seconds to James, who's already getting the blue flags thrown in his direction.
Yeah. And then we have to wait a little bit for the other cars to. Yeah. So P11 still has to do 1.5 laps until they pit. So you can concentrate.
Yeah, let's
on a little bit of a racing action.
Jump off the handover and go live then, shall we? Let's do that. Then we can have a real good look at where everybody is.
Oh, he spins it through the bus stop. The Dodge driver, and there goes probably. Here comes Irish Tony. Grabs P11.
So big job for Neo. 59 seconds it's currently sitting at. Neo has got a lot of work to do if he wants to try and close that gap back up for Overboost. Really quite a lot of work to do. It's back
We have
to-
an
it's back
issue
to how it was.
in my lobby. One of the drivers left the pits early.
Ooh.
Oh no, that's not good. Maybe. Oh, they parked it luckily straight when they left the pit. So hopefully they won't be. They triggered the final lap. Damn, this will be a bit complicated now for the track on track. Not sure if they can finish their stint. So will be a tough one for the handover again. So that's the risk if someone presses the button and goes out. Another driver is out. What are you guys doing? Come on, this
Oh,
is
it's all
not
gone.
helpful.
It's all gone wrong, isn't it? All gone
No,
horribly wrong.
yeah, totally no, yeah. So, don't think P11, 12, 13, and definitely P14, they won't be able to finish their stints. Now, this will get confusing what to do with the driver swaps. Basically, when the lobby ends, they have to give the go signal, and then the stewards have to figure out the gaps then to be applied for the next stint, I guess. But that's unlucky.
Yeah,
again.
that is going to make it
So,
complicated. Well, it will certainly close them up at the back and give me something to
Yeah,
commentate on, I suppose,
and-
from that perspective.
At least, yeah, we have some racing action, but there will be some, some time being added or whatever on the next couple of stints. And yeah, I'm a bit confused, to be honest, because we had a couple of issues with the driver swaps, leaving early for the swap, now leaving the pits early after the swap. So this is, I don't know.
Can't get the
It's
staff
worked
these days,
better.
can you?
It
Just
worked
can't
better
get
in
the
the past. Yeah, but it's like very early morning, so drivers are tired or so. Yeah, so okay. Endstation Gaming into the pits just worked for them. Okay, so we don't think we have triggered the final lap here. Or maybe we all get lucky here. So
Yeah, I think as long as they don't cross the
Yeah.
line, no one crosses the line.
that's
the
now
countdown
I
shouldn't
see
start.
I see the final lap trigger now on some of the cars. But yeah, we have P11, 12, and 13 in the pits, so we have the handover. It's just now last minute racing, being on track, and let's see if they can finish and do the driver swap. So two cars are parked on track.
It's
And,
pretty close actually.
yeah.
We've got Roadrunner Junior is out for ready to race in 11th. He's only 5 seconds ahead of Ghost, and we know how quick Ghost was from my last stint.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was super quick. He's 8 seconds clear of Omen and finalised only 9. Well, at the moment 9 seconds, but he hasn't left the pit yet, so it'll be a little bit more than that by the time he comes out.
So Roses has to do one more lap.
God, Rogers must be knackered. He's on my time zone, so it's wakey
Yeah.
wakey time for him now, not go to sleepy time.
He's used to it. I guess he does run some Australian leagues and some US leagues, so it's not something he's not used to. But still, yeah,
He's a youngster,
Not
isn't he?
like
So he sleeps all
usual
day
time.
and is awake all night like a
Yeah.
vampire.
yeah. Sometimes he's not awake in the evening when he's supposed to run in like regular time.
Regular human hours.
Lobbies. Yeah. Oh, that's the price you have to pay for being awake throughout the night. So it looks like the race finish timer hasn't been triggered, so it's all good, but still might be a slight slap on the wrist for two drivers here that jumped out of the pits too early.
I think we should beat them with PlayStation charging cords. Whip them until they're sore. But Gecko Racer already on lap 8, and finalised still not out the pitch yet. So that's some gap between them now, isn't it?
Yeah,
but-
it's true. Yeah. It's 8 minutes that Last Minute Racing is behind the leader.
James already setting that fastest lap of the race, so his intentions in ninth are very clear. He's already moved up to ninth ahead of Gelf, and already chunking into that 5 seconds to Aero up ahead. So he's definitely putting the hammer down for AHR and trying to negate that disconnect from earlier.
Rexy is heading into the pits, so I guess 10 seconds until the car gets to a stop now, and then this concludes the number 7 for me. And I'm looking outside of a window, and it's the night is gone. It looks like day again.
It's daytime for them. It's still very clearly night time for me.
Here we go. Road parked, so Last Minute Racing.
And there we go. Out comes Rexy, slotting in 14th with all the other Porsche 911 for the Ready to Race team. Very close to the back of him as he comes out.
Right.
But thank you very much. Go and have a little
Thank you for
sleep.
watching. Yeah,
And,
I will go to have a little rest now.
Yeah, and I will see you at the final stint. It's been emotional.
Bye bye,
Cheers.
stream, and see you later.
There we have it. There was Jaeger again with and he's put in a shift today, hasn't he? Fantastic shift from him. Thank you very much. Right, hello, chat and viewers. Nobody's clicked the thumbs up button yet. There's 28 of you. Click the thumbs up button immediately, or I will be forced to thrash you. Right, let's have a little run through of where we're at. Gecko Racer, 58 seconds clear. That was an absolutely phenomenal performance. That's all the only way you can describe it. Phenomenal performance from Evo. Picking up in Stint 7, just 11 seconds clear, has opened up that gap and given Gecko Racer a relatively easy ride here in Stint number 8. And of course, Stint number 8 still means we've got several hours to go. Neo some work to do. The Overs Racing team have been strong all day, along with of course ERA and everyone else up there, but he's got a lot of work to do if he wants any hope of catching Gecko. And Gecko already on the medium tyres, of course. We'll bring that up, shall we? We all want to see what tyres they're running. So tyre wise, this is where we're at. We've got Gecko Racer on those medium compounds, Neo on mediums, Ost 55 seconds back, he's on the mediums as well. 1 minute 20, so we know the top three are kind of away. They're on the lead lap, or just somewhere between the lead lap and the next lap behind. Paymay a lap behind for Race Asylum 2 in that Lexus, which has been performing valiantly throughout this race so far. Currently, as James is already dipping into those 44s, so he's setting his stall out. Paymay is on those medium compound tyres, Mazda on the mediums. Aslam is the highest soft tyre runner for Loose Moose Racing. He's currently running in P6, 16 seconds behind Mazda for Sector 7. McNaughty, another big gap to McNaughty in 7th. He's running on the medium compound, along with Aero, the other Sector 7 driver, 30 seconds back. James is on the soft and on an absolute charge. 45.2 fastest lap, 44.9 fastest lap, 44.6 fastest lap, and he's about to give Aero something to think about. And that thing he'll be thinking about is, why is this guy on such a flyer? Who dares drive this quick at 5 a.m. on a Sunday morning? The only people who should be up at 5 a.m. on a Sunday morning are priests, and that is purely just to hide the evidence of their wrongdoings. I'm only joking. Not all priests are guinea fiddlers. Some are though. Anyway, moving swiftly on. James is tucked nicely behind that that sector 7 car of Aero, and if he gets a good run out here, we could see the move before that bus stop chicane. He's opted not to tuck in straight away in the slipstream, so that says to me he's going to wait until after the bus stop stroke Le Mans chicane and make the move then. Well, Aero's indicating left, so he's telling James go, go, go. So he clearly sees that James is fast and he's letting James through. So that's quite a good tactical decision. He doesn't want to get caught in a battle holding up another car, and he's going to let him go. He's on the medium, so they're on different strategies. So that's James through. Starting to recover after the disconnection to Tank a few stints ago now. Get him the record deal. I think we should all chip in and get some studio time and see if we can't use the power of social media to get Jaeger to #1 in the alternative rock charts. How about that? Must be on top of the pops for Jaeger. 1980s TV show. Well, is Top of the Pops even still on? I don't watch live TV, so I haven't got a clue. We'll soon find out. Right, so James on a massive charge. His next target is McNaughty, who's 28 seconds up the road. If he fancies going for it, he's got 5 minutes up the road to Gecko Racer, but he's got some work to do to force his way up there. This is a rescue job for Apex Hunters after the disconnection earlier. So how well can he rescue it? Aero, let him go past. He knew he wasn't going to be able to hold him up. He's on the medium compound size, 8.6. He sung for you. You missed it, Hansa. It's your own fault. You're not allowed. You should have stayed up and listened. Gelf is 8.7 behind Aero. He's on the soft compound tyre in that MRL Vodafone livery. With Roadrunner, and it's a couple of laps back for Roadrunner for ready to race. But potential battle there. Ghost is looking pretty darn swift at the moment. He's closing fast on Roadrunner Junior. 1.1 seconds is that gap. So we've got a battle on the cards there. Nothing in the top 3 to watch for the time being. We will periodically go and have a little shifty at those guys. But Roadrunner's on the mediums as well, isn't he? No, he's on the mediums with Roadrunner with Ghost, on the softs. So he's having a good run at him now, Ghost, on those soft compound tyres, and the gap is closing fast. He's not going to be close enough into turn. Well, he may well catch him into turn 1, but I can't imagine he's going to make a lunge from that far back. So it's going to be another lap of Ghost chasing a Roadrunner. Normally it's Wile E. Coyote, but not today. Today it's just the Ghost of Wile E. Coyote, and getting safely past that invisible tyre wall. Now it's going to be a case of, I think he's going to be just reining him in, get through that chicane on the back straight, and then make the move as they head into lap 9 of another 68 glorious laps of racing. Now, I did fully intend before this stint to do a little bit of math and work out how many laps we'd had so far and how many miles we'd already done. But in all honesty, I couldn't be bothered. I could have lied to you and said that. I could have just said I wasn't going to do it, but I genuinely couldn't be bothered. I laid down on the couch and shut my eyes for an hour and went to sleep. Did that really annoying thing. I don't know if you guys ever do it. You set your alarm for a particular time, you need to go, and I set my alarm just in case. I didn't want to fall into a deep sleep and miss talking to you guys. So I set the alarm, and then that really annoying thing where you wake up 5 minutes before the alarm is due to go off. So there's no point going back to sleep because it's 5 minutes, because snoozing's stupid, and it just really annoys you because you've lost 5 minutes of perfectly good sleep. But there you go. That's life. So Ghost is really reeling Roadrunner Junior in now, closing on the back of that German driver, and should get this move done into or before turn 1, and really closing up that gap now. Look at how close he is to the back in that Vortex car, and you can see as they come out of that turn just how they slingshot into that slipstream, and a Roadrunner defending that inside line, but I think it's going to be futile. Under braking side by side almost, and then the two Porsches battling out, and Roadrunner does a brilliant job of holding that inside line and stopping Ghost from getting round the outside. Because these cars are going to be so similar in performance, despite the fact they're both on different tyre compounds, Ghost is going to have to do this the hard way. A Roadrunner is not going to give this up easy. It's not going to be a case of off you go up the road. I don't care. You can sit behind me as long as I can keep you there. So Ghost being held up at the moment, but side by side again as they come through this infield. He's going to tuck in again behind. They're going to pop out onto the tri-oval, and that's when Ghost is going to make his mark again round the outside. That is a brilliant, if he makes that overtake stick round there, round the outside, that might be one of the overtakes of the day. And they are still side by side. But what quality racing we've got this far in to this series, and already we've still got this incredible racing, and Roadrunner just still holding Ghost off. Ghost cannot find the impetus just to edge ahead of Roadrunner. It is fantastic close racing from these two Porsches, and who would have thought that after so many hours of racing, we would be seeing such close battles for 11th and 12th. Of course, and this is for the opportunity to try and chase down Gelf in 10th. So again, he's not been in that slipstream, so he's not going to get that slingshot he was expecting. So goes stuck again behind Roadrunner. Roadrunner playing such a clever defensive game here. He's not giving anything away to Roadrunner. He's holding him off. This is a masterclass of how to defend your track position here. And he goes again through the infield, tucked in behind. Maybe he just needs to back off a bit and have a rethink, because there is nothing he can do to get past Roadrunner. I think you're right, Ando. I think maybe this is where they say, okay, look, the gap to Gelf at the moment is what? The gap is it's significant, absolutely significant. So Roadrunner Ghost is finally round him, just edging ahead, but again drag racing down to the corner. It's now Roadrunner just behind Ghost. He couldn't hold him off on those medium tyres. He's up the inside again. Are they going to be side by side? I think they are. He gets a much better exit out, does Roadrunner. Doesn't quite have the same traction with those medium compound tyres. But look at this racing, so darn close. You say work together. They'll have to work together for 2 whole laps to close that. So this really is a battle for track position. And look at them both revving the arse out of that. Roadrunner again retakes that position from Ghost. These two are bringing the action. It could be, imagine if we had 68 laps or 58 more. Oh no, we're not going to have 58 more laps of this, because despite Ghost being tucked in that slipstream, we're going to see him absolutely fly backwards. He should have stayed in the slip there, because penalty served, and Roadrunner gets a breather. Look at just how devastating that half-second penalty was. He was right tucked under the wing of Roadrunner, and now he finds himself having to do that work all over again. Maybe that's what he needed, though. Maybe he needs that. They are absolutely losing time. But I think the gap to 10th is so vast at the moment. It's going to take several stints to close it. We say they're losing time. Let's have a look at the lap times, because Ghost was a 47.6 that last lap. Yeah, they are losing a little bit. So Ghost especially, because he's on the soft tyres. Roadrunner on the mediums. He's in the 47s, which is about right for where they are on track. So another opportunity for Ghost to get close, and he's clearly a little bit faster. But Roadrunner is so very clever with where he's placing the car. It makes it incredibly difficult for Ghost to find a way through. And what seems to be happening is Ghost is getting so close that he has to pull out of the slipstream. And of course, as soon as you pull out of the slipstream, you lose that additional impetus the car has got. You lose those extra few miles an hour. So into the Le Mans chicane, or the bus stop chicane, yet again, and he's very close. Again, had to back off a little bit I had to back off a little bit to avoid going into the back of him, and it is bringing Omen into the party, and I genuinely don't have a problem with that. If we have a nice little three-way going on, there is nothing more exciting than a three-way on a Sunday morning, other than maybe McDonald's breakfast delivery opening. That's what I might do, you know. I might live on air order a McDonald's breakfast when they open. What time? They don't even know what time they open on a Sunday morning. I mean, they're 24 hour, aren't they? So, yeah, I might order a McDonald's breakfast in a bit. But you see, the thing is, I have to find the balance of doing it late enough that it's not a bit creepy being the first guy to order a McDonald's breakfast, but early enough that no one else in my house is up, so it doesn't cost me loads of money. And then, of course, I have to hide all the wrappers and pretend I didn't have McDonald's breakfast. Right, here we go. Ghost, is he going to have another crack, or is he going to resign himself to the fact that Roadrunner is just a defensive driving mastermind? Here we go. Porsche versus Porsche. We haven't looked at anyone else for a good couple of laps, but this is where the action is. That's a great move by Ghost up there, up the inside, and Roadrunner having to back out, but he's in that slipstream now, so Ghost is not going to be able to pull away. Is Roadrunner going to make the move? Is he going to give him a little bump to stop Omen catching him? Omen at the moment, 11.6 back. It is absolutely breakfast of champions. That or my other favourite, I sound like a child here, is dippy eggs with soldiers. But let's go for the baffles. I'll tell you what I really like. It looks like Ghost has got it done. He's going to start to put away now, and Roadrunner picking up that penalty. I think that fight is going to be over for a little while now with Ghost having the opportunity to pull away. So what I like to get my dippy eggs, right, and I get soldiers, but I also cook bacon. And what I do, right, is when I cut my soldiers, I cut the ends of the toast for soldiers for dipping, and I leave the middle bit, and I just cut it in half so it's two big chunks, so that every time I finish a dippy egg, I then take what's left of the dippy egg out, I put it in the little half-bred soldier with a bit of bacon and make a little mini bacon sandwich. That is the breakfast of champions, my friend. That is the breakfast of champions. And I defy you to tell me otherwise. Right, so Ghost has got that move done. Ghost up into 11th place. Great little battle there, that was. Just starting now to edge away. We will keep a little eye out in case Roadrunner gets back into the action. What else is going on the racetrack? Finalised is some way back from Omen. 11 seconds back from that little battle. Would like to get himself involved, I'm sure. Has put in a 45.9, so got a bit of pace on those guys. Bacon, absolutely right, Ando, absolutely right. We're 2 laps up to Gelf there, who is 9.9 behind Aero Sector 7. 46.1 his last lap. Aero in those 45s. Aero's a very capable driver from Sector 7. James has been going full hammer time. 44.5 he put in on lap 9. He's been dipping his toe into those 44s every couple of laps, looking at closing, and that gap now to McNaughty down to 17.5 seconds. He's lapping incredibly fast. Even at even in the low 145s, McNaughty at the moment on those medium tyres is in the low 46s. A second a lap he's taking from him at the moment. James will be not too far from the back of McNaughty when the first pit window opens, which will be around lap 24. Now, of course, we're now back into the glorious daytime. We know throughout the night those soft compound tyres were easily lasting 24 laps for a stint. Is the increase in temperature now as we move into daylight, is that going to affect that? Are we going to find that the soft compound tyre no longer is sustainable for 24 laps? And if that's the case, how do the strategies change? We'll find out over the next 1 hour and 30 or 20 odd minutes how that affects them. But 16.8 is that gap there. Just want to check that Roadrunner and Ghost is starting to pull away from him now. Ahead of McNaughty, that's quite a big gap to Aslan. So McNaughty at the moment is not too focused on what's going on ahead, but focused on how long can he keep James behind him. It will be a few laps before we see that happen, but when it does, my God, it's going to be exciting. 12.4 between Aslam and Mazda. Mazda running for Sector 7 up in 5th place. Sector 7 have been a new addition to IRO, or to GTIP, but absolutely stonking performance from them as a new team coming in, doing a very, very good job. 31 seconds to Paymay. Paymay is in those... He's on the medium tyres at the moment, so high 45 is a very respectable time. And he's just improved, and that's an improved sector time for Sector 1. Sector 1 or Sector 2? Sector 1. There we go. Right, front three. What's changed in terms of gaps? Gecko Racers 57 seconds ahead of Neo, of 46.2, his fastest lap, which he's just put on the board. Neo with a 45.9, so there is a few tenths there. He's giving up a few tenths to Gecko, but 3 tenths a lap, and it being 57 seconds, it's going to take about 6 stints to even get close. Evo has put ERA in an absolutely fantastic position. Yeah, I was just thinking, you got me thinking, have I got bacon in the fridge? And I must have, because she went shopping on Friday, so we must have bacon in the fridge, but I'm still going to just order a McDonald's breakfast because I'm inherently lazy. Right, first to blink, Paymay, getting rid of those medium compound tyres, but only briefly the first to blink because Gecko Racer, 1 lap further up the road, also coming in on lap 20, and it is looking like this is the strategy of choice. Nobody is braving this impossible one stop that we would so like to see. So it is 20 laps on the mediums and then 2 stints of 24 on the softs. So Paymay first to blink, he's onto those soft compound tyres. He's a minute and a half behind Ost. So we saw how quick he was the stint before last. Well, yeah, it is a shame actually, Brahawk, because if they're closed, you can't buy bacon, and that's the reason why when I'm king of the world, I'm going to make any shop that sells bacon stay open all the time, and never shut, and never run out of bacon. I'm going to make it illegal to run out of bacon. I actually think I've got a theory about bacon. Right, let's have a look. You have a look at the map of the world, right? You put a pin in all the places in the world where there's conflict, right? And you'll find that when you put a pin in that place, and then you get another pin of a different colour and put a pin in all the places where they don't eat bacon, right? You'll find that a lot of them match up. So I think the key to world peace is bacon. And that's why I'm Prime Minister, folks, or should be Prime Minister. Solving world peace, one slice of pig at a time. Right, so Paymay's job for this second race assignment team is to close that gap to the front three if he can. 1 minute 30 seconds. It's a lot of closing he needs to do, but we know how incredibly quick he is. Is he much quicker than Ost? At the moment he is, but that will be because of the soft compound tyres. Ost now in. Neo has also pitted on those soft compound tyres now, so we're starting to see all the medium tyre runners ditch those mediums. Mazda staying out on them. Lap 20 for him, and he's opted to stay out past lap 20 or on lap 20. Yeah, so of course he's a little bit further back, isn't he? So seriously, right? I'm making an executive decision now, right? Can you stop talking about food, because I know I started it, but thinking about it is making me really, really hungry. And the thing to make it worse, I put a pot of coffee on so I wouldn't fall asleep halfway through this. And I've drunk a couple of cups already, and I can smell my coffee pot bubbling away in the kitchen, calling to me. It's that kind of the international smell of breakfast. So yeah, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about the chart chances of our wonderful budding pop star Jaeger, who could be the next big Eurovision prospect. Potentially. Mazda in a good position, actually. He's 11 seconds ahead of Aslan, 11 behind Paymay. Can he put in some time to catch him? The big thing, of course, is that he is going to need to pit, so that gap to Paymay will open up a lot. But it depends how far he's going to run on those mediums. He's putting in. He was putting in a 45.8. He can do on those medium tyres. So actually, not too shabby a lap time. And if he can consistently stay in those 45s, it might be worth. Could he be our great hope of the one-stop wonder? He's on lap 21 now. He's halfway through his fuel. Another 21 laps. That takes us to lap 42. He might. He'd have to fuel save a bit because anything more than 24 laps on the softs, and you are some kind of sorcerer. So he would need to get. The golden ticket is to get to 44, lap 44. So he'd need to do, he would need to seriously fuel save if he's going to one stop. So he probably isn't going to do that. It'd be good if I could see him do that. Tell you what, Mazda, come on, do it, Nuke, if you're listening, or Truth, as you're doing a lot of the pit crew. Can you convince him to do a one-stop for us, just for our entertainment pleasure? Goodbye, Joshua. Have a good day. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to click that like button on your way out and share it. In fact, I want you to phone everybody you know, get them out of bed, and read the web address out to them and get them to put it in to their browser. Yeah, how about that? Right, Aslam, 11.4. He's become a bit of slipstream from that Corvette of Gecko Racer, which should help him out a little bit. It won't be long before Gecko Racer disappears though, and Aslam has to just watch him disappear into the distance, of course. Let's go back to I want to have a quick look at Ghost and Roadrunner. Ghost is 12 seconds ahead of Roadrunner. Roadrunner with some damage as well. Mazda don't do fuel saving or tyre saving. Well, to be fair, where is he? He's in 5th, isn't he? To get to lap 22 and only just have gone halfway through the fuel, he's not doing badly at all. If he can make that fuel there last him to lap 44, he's got a one-stop strategy all day long on the cards there. So if he could learn to lift and coast in the course of the next 22 laps, that'd be fantastic. Yeah, that'd be good. He wouldn't have to do a lot either. Where were we? There we were. So we've got James there. He's passed McNaughty now up into 7th. He's putting in an absolutely stonking lap times. McNaughty, I think, has pitched. Yes, he has. That's why James got him past him quite so easily. He will have to pitch soon. But 3 or 4. Actually, looking at his tyres, he might be able to go beyond that golden lap 24. But I think he'll probably stick to the strategy, the 24, 24, 20 on the mediums rule. But yeah, he's looking pretty darn racy at the moment, 13 seconds ahead of McNaughty. He'll lose that position, of course, but his pace suggests that he won't lose it for long. Aero 4.9 behind McNaughty. He's on the medium compound tyre, getting some blue flags from the leaders. Gelf on those softs. He's made those softs last really well, but didn't he ditch the tyres quite early? I think he did actually. He was one of the first stoppers. So Aero coming in at the end of lap 21 to change out those medium tyres. So we should see Gelf go through. We did see Gelf go through. Ghost is a couple of laps back, so that he won't really get involved in that. They're on a different mission back there. That's Omen is ahead of Roadrunner now. Roadrunner with that damage really affecting his lap times. He lost what 8 seconds when he picked up the damage on lap 17. Now you're losing a couple of seconds a lap in terms of pace, so it really needs to think about going in. He's at that magic lap 20 now for those medium tyres, so get in, get that repair done, get your tyres changed, and have another go and see if he can stay on track. But Owen is through, and that's good news for him, particularly because Roadrunner's losing a couple of seconds a lap. So he should be able to build a bit of a gap when Roadrunner goes in, and hopefully gets him a little bit closer to the to him, so he can make the move later on. Ghost there he's on those softs. Should see him coming in about 4 laps time as well. He's being lapped at the moment by that'll be Aero, won't it? Yeah. So yeah, quite a distance between them. And finalised still a couple of laps back, but big round of applause to Sexy Rexy there. That's toughing it out despite being a couple of laps behind, and putting in lap times that aren't all that disrespectful. 46.2 is certainly a lot quicker than anything I could ever think of. Well, I can think of it, I just can't do it. The battle here for 10th is the one I want to look at, because for 9th, because Aero is on fresh soft tyres now. Gelf just ahead of him is on worn softs, and will have to pit sooner, much sooner in fact than Aero. Probably somewhere around, looking at those tyres, somewhere around maybe lap somewhere between 28 and 30, because we know that once we get to that halfway point on that rear tyre, it just start to drop off a cliff a little bit. So we should see Aero moving up that order. Good night, JJ. McNaughty, 14 seconds behind James, but of course James going to be pitting, I would imagine, at the end of the next lap. So he's going to come around, complete this lap, one more lap, and then we should see, if the strategy is on point, him come in then. The gap to Mazda at the moment is 1 minute and 8 seconds. That's going to be that's the target I think James is going to set himself, to close that gap down to under a minute, and give his teammates, his incoming teammates, and of course we've still got plenty of stints to go. We're only on stint 8 of 12, so 4 more stints, so still 8 hours of racing to go after this, so it's certainly very much doable. You're in next stint after for James, or for Mazda. I think it's for James, isn't it? You're in for James, aren't you? Are you James quick? Is the big question. Obviously my favourite car, because he's got 69 on the side, and everyone loves a 69 at 5:43 in the morning. Mazda to Aslan, 45.6 last lap for Mazda from sector 7, with Aslan with a 45.9, 45.3. So Aslan can be quicker. He's picking up a little bit of slippy slip from that'll be the number 1 car, Racer Asylum car, who is several laps up ahead. Paymay putting in some really solid laps in that Lexus, and almost getting the gap to Ost under 1 minute, which is going to be target 1, and then of course it's going to be getting it even closer. Will be targets 2 to 10. Gaps for the leaders. So Neo is taking a little bit out, lap after lap, out of Gecko. So that's James in to the pits for his first stop. And that, as I said, that end of lap 24, absolutely bang on the money. And anyone would think I know what I'm doing. Right, so Gecko Racer 55 seconds ahead. It's a comfortable lead to have, and Evo's put him in an absolutely fantastic position. He's just got to keep the car on the road now. But Neo is really hammer down trying to close that gap. Still yet to dip into the 44s though, I see. Same as well for Gecko Racer. It's interesting actually, because if you look at the early stints, sort of stints 1 through to even 6, it was those the fastest laps were coming from those front 3. But as we've sort of moved into the sort of middle of the race, we started to see the fastest laps coming from further down the field. We've seen Paymay put in some absolutely blistering laps. We've seen James put in blistering laps here. The last stint was an anomaly because, of course, Evo the Witch was in and set a 44.0, which I was optimistic coming into this, thinking we might see at some point a high 143. But the more time goes on, the more I'm thinking that Evo has put in probably the fastest lap we're going to see today. As he lays down the gauntlet. I don't know if Evo's got another stint. If he has, I think if anyone's going to do it, he'll be one of those to do it. So we will see. I don't know how many more stints he's got. So it could very well be that Evo is doing that final run-in stint and goes for it if they have the gap to do it. Of course, we're assuming that Evo's going to have a nice, comfortable gap to be able to afford him the opportunity to give that big final push. Okie dokie. Where is our next big battle coming from, I hear you cry? Well, actually, I don't know. It looks like Aslan's going to have to pit soon, very soon. So that's going to move Mazda up back into that top 5. 25 seconds back Aslan is from Paymay at the minute. It's going to be about 40 seconds back for Mazda once he goes through. They're nearly 4 minutes, 3 and 3/4 minutes, if we're going to do it in an odd way, behind the leaders. So Mazda's going to have a nice, massive bit of even clearer air in front of him. No real challenge from behind. So that battle there is going to be these two. If they can get on the same part of the racetrack, not too far between them at the moment. McNaughty has got James hunting him down. James obviously losing that position in the pits, but he's back on those soft compound tyres. He's got another 24 laps to run. Now, this is the thing. James is going to put in a lot of work here to move up the field. He's going to be on the mediums in the tail end of the race. Now, the question, of course, is whether he opts just to do the 20 laps on the mediums, which seems to be the majority rule approach, or whether he's just going to do one little blast lap on the mediums and do the rest of it on the softs. And I think it will be dictated by what sort of gap there is. If he's managed to pull a big gap over McNaughty, that's assuming, of course, he gets past him. He's still got to catch him. It's still 11 seconds up the road, of course. He's still got to catch him, and then he's going to have to pull a gap. Or whether he... And of course, what sort of pace he's got on those medium tyres as well. That's going to have a really big effect. But we know how strong this Corvette is, and we know how strong James as a driver can be. Of course, he started on pole for the opening stint at Barcelona last time out, although someone forgot to change their fuel map and ended up getting swallowed up into turn 1 because he decided to fuel map 6 it on the formation lap, which makes sense. You don't really want to be burning free fuel when you're driving at 50 kilometers an hour, which is something else in miles. I don't know what it is in miles, whatever it is. Someone else can convert it for me. It's far too early in the morning to be doing any kind of meaningful mathematics. Guelph is 7.2 behind James. Time's pretty good, 45.8. So those high-end 45s and the low 46s. So nice, solid racing there from Guelph in terms of lap times. You've got Aero behind, though, and Aero is distinctly into the mid 45s, so about half a second to a second a lap. Half to 3/4 of a second lap, shall I say. Excuse me, clearing my throat. So Aero should, you know what, let's do some math. if we're saying half a second a lap, then he's going to need 24 laps. So he needs essentially a soft tyre stint to catch Gelf. If that's the case, Gelf is actually going to come in the pit, so he won't even need to do that because Aero will go past him long before that happens. So actually, it doesn't really matter. It's not going to be an on-track overtake there. Ghost and Omen. Omen's going to come into the pits very shortly. Another lap or two, so Ghost will breeze through there up into 12th. The gap between him and Roadrunner, they're a good little battle to start out. Roadrunner now 15 seconds back. He has been in, done that repair, but yeah, it was very costly for him that spin on lap 17. So he's got some work to do to catch Ghost, although Ghost is pit as well, so yeah, it's going to require some significant race pace from Roadrunner if he wants to close that gap, because currently it's 45.6. This is his fastest lap. Ghost has been in those 45s, but at the moment Ghost is only doing 46.2, 46.3, so low 46s for Ghost. Roadrunner in those high 45s, so potentially there's a few tenths difference between them, and Roadrunner is certainly going to close that gap. But it's a lot of work to do to close it. He's going to need half a second a lap to catch him by lap 56 as it currently stands. So a while away before we see anything there. And finalised, of course, we know is a couple of laps back. So the only real battle I think we're going to see, I don't think we're going to see a battle on the racetrack for some time, because the only potential battles that are brewing is they're battles that are going to be won in the pits. James on McNaughty, and that's as James puts in another fastest lap of the race with a 1:44.3, still 3/10 off that blistering time set by Evo in that last stint number 7. So this is officially my final stint. I've already been tapped up to do another one to cover for Lil Nicky and Stint 10, which I really I don't want to do it. Well, I don't want to do it. I can't. It's a difficult one for me, but I might end up having to anyway. I think if we haven't got anyone else, it's kind of what I do. I cover, and as Jaeger's been covering for some others, I suppose someone else has to step up and do something. Let's we can convince Ponyboy maybe to come out of. Oh no, Ponyboy's doing Stint 11, so he's not going to be able to do Stint 10 as well. We might try and get Crentis on board. Crentis was due to initially do Stint 2, but decided to go and do some real-world go-karting instead, which that was nice for him. Got a lovely little pink head scarf thingy. What do they call it? I forgot what they call them. Like balaclava thing. That's not one, balaclava. Right, so James is already close to within 10 seconds of McNaughty. And at the current pace, it's over a second a lap faster, almost 2 seconds a lap on that last lap faster. So we could see what we look at lap 30. So yeah, probably in the next 5 or 6 laps, we could see that battle being fought. How are 30 of you still with us? You must be. You guys have been racing. You've been broadcasting. You've been sitting here watching us all night. It's Thank you very much for hanging around, guys. Thank you very much. If anyone wants to come, I might. Let's do it. Let's. I'm going to jump into the YouTube channel. I'm going to have it switched on. If you want to come and join me, we're switched on. Come and have a little chatty room. Keep me company. Okay, so Nikki can do it, but good if you get cover. If you're listening, Ray, at a push, I can, but I don't want to get murdered by my missus. Austin Neo, I can have a look at that for you, Jakey. Austin Neo is 1 minute 14 seconds. So Neo opening the gap, Ost not closing it. Zero, you are absolutely right. 31 people watching it, 31 people should click the thumbs up. It's not like you've got anything better to do, because at 5:55 in the morning here in the UK, you are watching a fat bald man shout at 14 sim racers. So click that freaking like button. Sorry, as I was saying, Ray, got sidetracked there. If you're listening, and Lil Nicky, I would absolutely love. So I'd love to do it. I can do it as a push, but it's that time of the morning when everyone's getting up and about and flitting around, and we've got dogs to feed and walk, and kids to feed and walk, and that kind of thing, and drugs to hand out to sick, convalescing teenagers and stuff. So it's not an ideal time. So Nikki, if you could, I would be eternally grateful. But if you really can't do it, then let me know soon. I'd rather get some sleep and come back for Stint 12, to be honest, but there we go. Right, Aslan, let's have a look at Aslam. Very steadily in those low 45s, low to mid 45s, 14 seconds behind Mazda, and on the medium tyres now. That was a really, really long stint on those soft compound tyres. Is this the one stopper we've been hoping for? You're fangirling over him in party chat. Yeah, he's doing a great job, James. I mean, he's absolutely on fire. He's closed that gap to McNulty to under 10 seconds, and whacking in lap after lap of gloriousness, glorious, juicy. It's the chocolate cake of lap times, isn't it? Well, I mean, it's twofold being on a pad. Is that, it's incredibly difficult doing a 2-hour stint of any race, particularly if you've done stints already. But yeah, you're right, for tyre management. It's a difficult thing to do. I had a long conversation actually with one of the Amigos Racing Team drivers, who's racing in our Alpha series at the minute, and he's incredibly quick for a pad player as well, very, very quick. And that's the one downfall, he says, of racing on the pad, is that when it comes down to nothing but fuel and tyre management, particularly tyre management. So that's when he really struggles. To be fair, I have just noticed that, Ando. So he's not on a one stopper. He should have filled up and gone for the one. I really want someone in a stint that I'm doing to go for a one stop, but clearly no one's going to do it this time. And this is certainly going to be my last stint as lead broadcaster, because Lil Nicky is going to do me solid and do Stint 10. Because he loves me loads. This is about, we look at 7 seconds already. James has taken another 2 seconds out of McNulty, and let's be very, very brutally honest here. For the Syndicate Racing team, is that McNulty is putting in times akin to that of these guys here, very similar lap times, and even still he's getting caught by James, who is that's a 44.078. Can anyone remember what the Evo's lap time was? It was a 44.0. It was a 44.0 what? I could go back and have a look, couldn't I? That's what I'm going to do. Right, so Evo was a 44.037. 44.037 for Evo, and that's a 44.078 for James. So on the cusp, there was me gushing and saying that Evo was going to have the fastest lap, and the only person that was going to beat Evo's time is Evo. Get in there. Yeah, well, actually, to be entirely accurate, hang on, it was I'm in the wrong thing. Hang on. For some reason, the Super GT videos come up. I don't want to watch Super GT. He's not ready. It was. Hold the line call up. Talk amongst yourselves. 44,037. To be entirely accurate. But yeah, that's no slip though for you. Yeah, that's very true. That is very true. Take the accolade. You are still the fastest man out there, Evo, and there is no doubt in our mind that you are a freaking machine, an absolute machine of epic proportions. Yeah, that was a damn good lap, Evo. Damn good lap. But James at the moment is chasing down McNaughty in a naughty way. He is only 5.1 seconds now behind him for 7th. He's got a big task ahead if he wants to get into the top 6, of course, but that's going to be the next battle. So Gelf there into the pits. That lets Aero through. We knew that was coming. It could have been an overtake on track, but wasn't. Ghost and Roadrunner. Roadrunner closed that gap 4 seconds over the last few laps he's taken out of Ghost. So we could potentially see a bit of a battle there. You know, initially it was Ghost was winning that battle between those two, but now Roadrunner, after his little accident on lap 17, is starting to reel in the Dutch driver for ready to race. Yeah, I would look forward to that battle. And again, look at their lap times, so comparable with those guys out in the lead, those in the front 3. So Aero 24 seconds behind James. Best lap for him was a 45.1. It's going to be difficult for him to keep up with him. Blue flags for James at the moment because of course he's got the leaders behind him. He's a bit quicker, so he's actually unlapped himself from Gecko Racer with that supreme speed. So he's going to have blue flags waving at him for some time unless he can open up a bigger gap. Yeah, no, you're right. There is nothing like slip off. Well, I suppose there are many things better than slip off a race leader, like being on the same lap as them. I suppose is probably better. You could argue, but being someone who's usually not on the same lap as anybody, yeah, you're right. If you can't be on the same lap as them, get a bit of slip off them. 4.6. McNaughty must be seeing that time coming down and thinking, how do I stop this? Stop this from happening? And the answer is you can't. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. You're going to have to suck it up, my friend. You're going to have to suck it up. That's not what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. That little view there. I want to see when we get out onto the straight here if we can see James bearing down on us. Out onto the trioval we go with McNaughty, and we should see James. It won't be long before he's only 4.5 back. That car in the distance, that is, I believe, James. It is. There he is, and you can see from the front of James's car, that car just up ahead there. That is his target. That is McNaughty. 4.5 seconds. He's going to have to do it under his own steam now. He doesn't have slipstream from Gecko Racer anymore. That's the only time your teammate Evo is going to do anyone else a favour. So yeah, he's got some work to do now to close down the gap. But he's not struggling. He's not struggling to catch him as it stands. Right, we're just past the 1 hour mark, so let's have just past it, 10 minutes past it because I'm waffling like a madman. It's the Colombian stuff, and that's coffee, not the marching powder. 54 seconds. So Gecko's held that very steady 54. Evo puts him in the position, and he's just there to consolidate in this stint. Neo with it's 1 minute 15 now back to Ost. So these front two really have dominated throughout. It is a shame not to see Apex Hunters in there after we unfortunately lost one to a disconnection. But and to be fair, we've only had 3 disconnections over the course of 8 lobbies, and 2 of them were in one lobby, so it's been going quite all right. The stability's been pretty good, and one of those connections we know was, or disconnections we know was an internet issue and not a Sony issue. So yeah, it's been pretty good in terms of lobby stability, but that'll be also down to the hosts, of course. So there is Ost, 52 seconds to Paymate. How much of that can Paymate take out of Ost? Ost last lap was a 47.1, so he lost a bit of time there. He clearly lost somewhere. There's no damage, but maybe he went awry a little bit. Paymate solidly in those low 44s and low to mid 44s, dipping his toe. Low 45s, dipping his toe into the 44s. 39 seconds back to Mazda, who is dipping his toe into the 44s a bit more often than Paymate ahead. So he is eating into that time for Paymate in 4th. 20 seconds ahead of Aslam, who ran a superb first stint on those soft compound tyres, and passed up, it looks like, an opportunity to go for the magic one stop. 1 minute 7 seconds to McNulty, who it won't be long before he has James all over him like a rash. That's the one we want, because we want to do this. We want to go Jaeger Vision, Jaeger Vision, Jaeger Vision. But that is Jaeger Vision, and that just behind McNulty is the on-rushing James for Apex Hunters. That gap ever closing. We'll come back to that very, very soon, because that's going to be going off. 27 seconds back to Aero. Pit window opening again in, what were we looking for? 5, 6, 7, 8 laps time. 7 laps time for him. Same for Gelf, who is 38 seconds back. Actually, he's going to go a bit longer because he's on much fresher tyres. He's gone for a different strategy to those around him. Ghost and Roadrunner, that gap down to 9 seconds. Roadrunner reeling Ghost in, and at the current rate should... it looks like Ghost had a bad lap there at 47.2, because it was only a couple of tenths a lap really between them. So it given a bit of an advantage by Ghost making a mistake somewhere. I'm acutely aware I don't want to miss this. He's almost within a second. Let's get down this order very quickly then. 11 seconds Roadrunner to Omen. Similar lap time, but maybe a little bit slower, and then finalised in 14th position. So boom, let's go on board for the big chase down. We need some like action music, don't we, for this big chase down. I'm not an action music person. Yeah, we need something like I'm trying to think of the song. Something by like Creedence Clearwater Revival, or something kind of 1970s upbeat car chase. Something you hear in Smokey and the Bandit or something like that. Yeah, why not? Let's get some copyright infringements on the go and play music that doesn't belong to us. Let's do that. Everyone loves a copyright infringement. Have your videos taken down. Right, so here's James hunting down McNulty for a place in the top 7. And we can see just how quickly he's closing. He's in that slipstream. He's going to get this massive slingshot as they come round this banked left-hander on the back straight, heading towards the front straight through the penalty line. And look at McNulty already getting prepared, not leaving a gap up the inside. He's not going to allow it out into the braking zone. They go into turn 1 under braking, so close to the back, getting it slowed down nicely does James. He is right in there now. McNulty can see nothing but a whole heap of AHR in his mirrors. James is going to bide his time through this infield section, this twisty, complex infield section, the only complex part of this racetrack, where you have to concentrate on something other than turning left. Through the little dog leg or kink, depending on your propensity for golf, I suppose. Right-hander on the power, and then you've got this big braking zone. So it's big braking zone. It's big braking zone in terms of importance, but not in terms of how hard you're braking. Here we go. This is going to be the run now. Does he make the move before the bus stop? He's tucked nicely in behind that Corvette. It is Corvette versus Corvette here. So we're looking at that kind of American muscle in a straight line. And look at how important that slipstream is. And he's given McNaughty a little bump, which is probably the right thing to do, as they head down towards the chicane. And he slowed up a little bit there, did James, sensibly, so he didn't want to overcook it going into the chicane and ruin the break point. So a little bit of lift and coast, just let McNaughty stay ahead, because he's going to slingshot past him now as they come up to complete lap 39. We're firmly in the second half of this race now. Pulls out round the outside, side by side they go. That is McNaughty, and the move was McNaughty. Where is he? He's disappeared. Ray joined the room. Ray left the room. It's not done yet. It's not fully done yet. They're side by side going into turn one. It's brave, I'll give you that. Let's just jump out of the car. But he does get the move done, and McNaughty dives in behind. And James moves up to 7th position. There we go. Ah, that's why, because Nick's jumping in to do some race directoring. Does that mean Ray's going to go and make me a bacon sandwich and then whack it in an Uber? That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Right, we knew that was coming. It's done now. He can disappear off up the road. He will be pitting in about 4 laps time. I imagine, for those medium compound tyres. Yeah, I thought that was the case. I thought it was. Yeah, I've got to say, Ray, you and Nick have put in some. Talking about the drivers and Jaeger and other broadcasters and everyone else putting in a shift, but you two have been ever present, putting in massive shifts. Absolutely stonking performance from you guys. Yeah, stonking. Right, who are we going to have a look at? Where is our next little shenanigan? This Road Runner Ghost thing is bubbling. Lap 38 of 68. Ignore the 69 up there. No, don't ignore it. If there is ever a 69 available, do not ignore it. It's a gift that keeps on giving. Yeah, so 30 laps remaining for a Roadrunner to close that 7.8 second gap to Ghost. He is eking out lap after lap a bit more each time. Yeah. Well, some say that Ray doesn't need to sleep because she's always asleep and awake in equal measures at the same time. So it's been said. So it's not a case of asleep or awake for Ray. She just is in both states all the time, every single time, which is why she's always there. And a bit like Jesus, if you believe in that sort of thing. Right, so gap, not really any different out front. Gecko Racer still 55 seconds clear from Neo. 1 minute 25 between Neo and Ost. Ost dropping off that pace a little bit as Neo into the pits a little earlier than probably would have been best, because we're looking at what, 20. Well, actually it should have been lap 40. Yeah, lap 44 really was the 48, sorry, was the would have been the ideal, but he's running he's still got the soft tyres to run, so actually that's bang on 44, because he did 20 laps on the mediums, 24 on the soft, so yeah, it is actually spot on. Ish, I think he's a lap too early maybe, because Gecko's still out. There's a little bit low on fuel there though, so just going to have to nurse this round, but plenty of time to do it. Into the pits goes Gecko Racer. Ost is dropping back towards Paymay. They're in fourth. He's going to be pitting at the end of, if not this lap, then most certainly, most definitely, absolutely, positively, at the end of lap 44. Good morning, Jason. How the bloody hell are you, my friend? Hope you've had a nice little sleep and you had a good little practice last eve. What can I fill you in with? I don't know what you last saw. I'll tell you what I can fill you in with. So at the end of stint 6, we're on stint 8 now, of course. The end of stint 6, the gap between 1 and 2 was 11 seconds, and then Evo came in stint 7 and opened that gap up to a phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal 55 seconds. Now here's the thing: the gap between Gecko Racer and Neo was 50 odd seconds, or 55 seconds. Why is it now 1 minute 30 all of a sudden? Has Neo had a little smasheroonie somewhere? Because looking at they both came in, well actually Gecko came in a lap after Neo, so we might see that rectify itself actually, and that could be why. Yeah, it's rectifying itself absolutely now. Yeah, there we go. Trying to get me all confused as though something happened. Stick with the program, man. Ost does need to pit. He'll pit. Yeah, he should pit at the end of this lap. Getting blue flags now. So it was originally just the top 3 that lapped everybody. Now Ost is being sucked into that being lapped vortex, because there he is, and just behind him is Gecko Racer. We can see there bearing. Is it Gecko Racer or is it Neo that's bearing down on him? Where's Ost? Ost is in the pits, that's why we can't see him. Pay attention, Andy, pay attention, son. Yeah, he hasn't crossed the line yet. Issue with lobby. We've been alright with lobbies, not had too many problems with lobbies. I don't know, can't answer that question, mate. Yeah, we've been okay with lobbies here. We haven't had, I say we haven't had too many. We've had a couple of little issues, a couple of disconnects, but no, the lobbies have been stable as hell actually. Not very laggy either. No real lag issues apart from a couple, but that's down to individuals more than anything else. Right, so Gecko is still far ahead. Right, Paymay. Now Ost is in. Paymay has had his pit stop. So once Ost comes out, which he has done now, and the clock catches up with us, we'll see what that gap is between 3rd and 4th. It's not an entire lap. It's about, I think it was about 40 something seconds, which should right itself pretty soon. I can't imagine that's there, but I was going to say Mazda really close to Paymay with 1.9 seconds, but he does still need to pit, which I imagine he will do. I thought he was going to do it this lap, but he's not. He's staying out for another lap. So at the end of this lap, though, we will see Mazda come in for sector 7 and change out those tyres. Aslam 1 minute behind Mazda in 6th position. James is on the brink of his final pit stop. He's going to be running the medium compound tyre. Currently 23 seconds behind Aslan, and it's been a phenomenal couple of races for Apex Hunters, because if you've been following, then you will know that Tank Pro got disconnected while 40 seconds in the lead way back in stint 3. I think it was stint 3, wasn't it? Yeah, stint 3. Yeah, it must have been, because it was myself and the Jaeger bomb himself. Yeah, Sharky did stint 6 for them, and you did a good job. He got them kind of in that top 5, and that's where they have they've maintained in that top 5. Yeah, so we were talking about tank racing. It was Stint 3, way back in Stint 3 now. 5 stints ago. It didn't seem that long ago. It got disconnected with 40 odd seconds in the lead, and Stint 4 didn't go so well for Apex Hunters, but since then Bro Hawk's had a couple of stints in the car. James now in the car. We've seen them start to make moves towards the front of the pack, and they've certainly closed down the gap quite significantly. But we're going to see him pit now and see what goes on. So Mazda's in for his final stop. He's already run the medium tyres, so he's going to do a final run on those softs. And Aero's also run the mediums, so he'll be on the soft tyres as well. There won't be many on the mediums, but there will be a few. I think more and more drivers, as we're going through, seeing the benefit to having start on, of course. So much has happened, but you reminded me there, Lucas' namesake. Him and Paymay were absolutely on fire. There's some great battles between them, actually. But yeah, he spun, and he was up into fourth, wasn't he? And then had that spin, lost a couple of positions, and they've had to find their way back to fifth. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Glad you're paying attention, because it's not like it's my job to do that. He may well be. He may well. I would have thought so, because it's the only stint he's done so far. And I would have thought if he's doing them, he'll be doing them at this, because this is his time, isn't it? It's night time for them now. So for us it's daytime. For them it's daytime. Right, Aero coming out of the pits, or is out of the pits, shall I say? 28 seconds behind McNaughty, who tried to hold off James, but it didn't happen for too long. Right. Who's still left to pit? I don't think there's many left to pit now. We're past that window. So finalised. I don't know if he can take it to the end. He's on the softs. He's probably going to have to pit again for some tyres. Omen definitely is going to have to pit again. He's on the softs at the moment. I imagine he's going to run mediums. Does he run the mediums? I can't remember. Roadrunner Junior, he will be pitting at the end of this lap. If he doesn't put, so we lap 44, so maybe one more lap for him before he goes in. I forget, of course, that these guys are so far back. Yeah, it's afternoon for him. Ghost, he's got the blue flags out. He's still got to pit as well, and he's 8.5 ahead of Roadrunner, but Roadrunner, of course, has to pit as well. So that battle might come back to us. I think everyone beyond that. Oh, there we go. James. Yeah, James still needs to pit, and the pit window is very firmly a couple of laps away for him. So yeah, two more laps he needs to do. He doesn't need to do them. The mediums will take him to the end of the race from any point now. But he'll want to stay on the softs for as long as he possibly can, which isn't very, very much longer. But still, despite the fact that the tyres aren't looking great, he's still very firmly in those low 145s. The gap to Aslan is 22 seconds. Once he's pit, of course, that'll come right back out again. Is Aslan going to make any inroads into Mazda? So what have we got? 24 seconds. They're both on their final stint. Fuel and tyres very similar. Aslan's last couple of laps were 45.3, 45.5. Mazda yet to set representative time. He's 40 seconds behind Paymay. Paymay very firmly in those low 145s, low to mid 145s. So should be comfortably maintaining that gap somewhere there to Mazda. Mazda was doing for similar times, again the mids. I mean, look at that consistency actually there. So look, 46.2, 46.2, 46.3, 45.2, 45.2, 45.3, 3. That's another 45.3. That's incredibly consistent. And I do remember that Jagerbomb and myself were talking about this much earlier in one of the handovers about how consistent Mazda is, consistent and quick, which is why Sector 7 have been able to stay up in that top 5 and mix it with the big boys. And he's actually lapping faster than Gecko Racer, on par with Neo, who's taken a couple of seconds out of Gecko, but it's a big ask to close that big gap that Evo left for them. Certainly faster than Ost, who's dropping out to those high 45s. So Paymay looking good, Mazda looking good. Are we going to be lining these guys up to for a little bit of a battle potentially for third? I can't. I brutally, honestly can't see past ERA and Overboost for the 1-2. At the moment, I would say I can't see it being any other way round than it currently is. But remember, we did see that gap come down to 11 seconds at the end, by the end of stint 6. So it really depends on the driver combos, who Overboost has got in the seat, who Race Solomon got in. I would imagine we're going to see Evo again over the next few what's the word? I just used it. Stints. You can tell I've been up pretty much all night doing this shizzle minizzle. Yeah, so I think it depends how we get the combos, and if Evo comes in again, it's game over. Evo's been absolutely dominant. James has got the 44.078. He had a bit of slipstream help from Gecko Racer, but without slipstream, Evo did a 44.043, which is just sickening, because no one's even really been close. Excuse me, yawny coming. I am going to get some shy after this. Yeah, I'm going to get some shy, definitely. Right, I'm trying to find a potential battle for you, but we're just not. There's nothing cropping up. Right, James is in. That's his final stop. So this will be his run to the line. Now, 45 seconds ahead of McNaughty. He's got enough cushion to come out ahead of McNaughty and stay in 7th. He's done a good job, actually. Got them up. They were 10th when he took over at the beginning of this stint. So James has made some good overtakes, got them up the field. And we've got, I think it's Lucas. Yeah, it is Lucas, isn't it? Yeah, he's jumping into the car next for the Apex Hunters. So yeah, he's put Lucas in a really good position to hunt down the Loose Moose racing team. And you know, a big special mention, just a special mention, doesn't need to be a big one necessarily, for Loose Moose Racing, because they were way down. We can bring the grid up actually and show you where they were. They qualified down in there it is, down in on row 6, down into that would have been in 12th position, and they have fought them up, and they've been flitting between sort of 4th and 6th for the last few stints. So yeah, really good performance from them to get up into that top 6, and at the moment it looks relatively consolidated in that top 6. So good moves from them, and still of course plenty of stints to go, and a possibility still of getting back into the top 5 or possibly even top 4, because that, I mean, the gap there. So we've got so we're going to say Gecko and Neo, so ERA and ORT. We'll take those two out of the equation for the time being, and I think we still could over the next and it will be 8 hours, so it will be pretty much 7 a.m. when we finished, right through to 3 p.m. So we've got another 8 hours of racing following this. So we've got a chance. So it's 41 seconds separate Ost and Paymay, or essentially Race Asylum and Race Asylum in 3rd and 4th. We've got about the same separating Race Asylum and Sector 7 in 4th and 5th. We've got 24 seconds separating them, Sector 7 and Loose Moose Racing there in 6th. And James is going to be taking some chunks out of Aslan on this final stint. I mean, Aslan's in the mid to high 45s. James has been consistently in those mid to high 44s. So 1 second a lap. We've got about 18 laps remaining. So quick maths would tell me that will be somewhere around 38 seconds. So similar gap to that between third and fourth and fifth. Between Aslan and whoever goes or loose and whoever comes in for Luke, I think it's Lucas and coming in for Apex Hunter Racing. Only 9 seconds back to McNaughty at the moment, so they're still very much in this syndicate racing team. Still very much in it. So there's a potential there. Now the difference between third is so there we've got third there, 2 minutes behind the leaders, and even McNaughty back there, it's only 3 minutes. Now if you consider that over the course of 2 hours that Evo was able to build an almost 1 minute lead, it's not out of the realms of possibility that we could see these midfield runners in sort of 6th, 7th, 8th challenging up for third, fourth, fifth. So there's still very much some great racing to be had, and I'm looking forward to. I'm gonna get some sleep. Absolutely gonna try and get some sleep before the final stint. But look forward to seeing what Bro Hawk and such like get to experience, because we've got Bro Hawk. Bro Hawk was actually up next, I believe. I think he is. Yeah, let's have a look. You see, yes, he is. Bro Hawk will be following me, taking us up to 9 a.m. And then there's some debate on what's happening with Little Nicky. I think Little Nicky is trying to palm off Stint 10, but I don't think I have it in me. I say I don't think I have it in me. I don't have it in me. Not necessarily strategy-wise, but I don't want to get stabbed by my family-wise. Bearing in mind that I've been up all night as it is, and that's quite a key time in my house. Right, so James, his target now is to put Lucas in a strong position to challenge for 6th on this next handover. Back there in 9th, that's Aero's 29 seconds behind McNaughty. Time's very similar. McNaughty seems to have pretty much kept that to around 30 seconds without much changing there. Now looking at Guelph there, he's 7.3 behind Aero. He's been lapping a little bit slower, so I think that gap's probably going to get bigger rather than smaller. But you bear in mind that the race solo team were 13th, 14th on the grid, so it's been the MRL team 13th or 14th on the grid. So it's been a good performance from Guelph and Omen to get themselves up into 10th and 11th, albeit a couple of laps separating them. Ghost there in 12th, he's 6.1 behind Omen. Looking at those times, we thought the battle would actually be Roadrunner Jr. and Ghost. That gap's opened right up, but it's not in the realms of impossibility that we will see Ghost catching Omen, because Ghost has been consistently in those high 145s. He's been quick every time he's been on track, actually. Omen in the low 46s, so half a second a lap. We've still got, for these guys in particular, we've still got what is it? So it's not lap 50. So they've still got 18 laps for Omen and Ghost, and at half a second a lap, that's only going to be 13 laps before he's caught him. So certainly 5 laps for Ghost to get that ready to race team up into 11th. Roadrunner Jr. falling off the pace. He was catching Ghost quite some rate in that last stint, but not so much this time. And Finalized still back there on lap 48. So yeah, it's quite some distance now, 55 for Gecko Racer. The gap's come down to 50 seconds. So Neo started to find a bit of time from somewhere. Yeah, he seems to be lapping. For the most part, it's similar, but he's dipping down into those 45 ones. And it's crazy to see that we've got these two way out in the lead, and I don't think we've seen them dip into those 144s once. Look, in all honesty, they don't need to. They don't need to push the car that hard. They can literally just ensure they bring it home. Evo did all the hard work in that last stint to open up the gap for Gecko, so he certainly doesn't need to be pushing. Neo doesn't want to risk second at the moment, because bear in mind that Overbush had been in second behind ERA for pretty much most of this race once we lost Apex Hunters in stint 3. So they're not going to want to risk a potential second chasing first and end up not even getting second. They're not going to need to. I think we'll take off tyres and fuel now. We don't need it. Everyone has done their pit stop stuff. We're on the final run in. We will be joined, I'm sure, pretty soon. I'm going to jump out of the interview channel and go into the Stream Voice channel, because I expect at some point we will see Brohawk will open his. We'll just have a look. So stint 9 is now live, so the lobby's open. So Brohawk will be in there. He'll be going live very, very soon, and then we'll do our little handover thingy and have a little bit of bants between us, and yeah, then we'll be done. There we go. Right. How do you not drink coffee and still stay awake? Roses, I'm dying and I want to sleep. Not surprised, my friend. Not surprised. It's been a long, long night. I managed to grab an hour in between stints. But yeah, I'm struggling a little bit myself now, and I'm going to have to be all family orientated in a little more than I'm probably going to get another hour before I'm kicked out of bed and told what to do by the other half. He in the lobby already. Yeah, I imagine he would be. So Gecko 52 seconds clear. He's starting to re-establish that 55-second lead if he can. There is obviously a lot of traffic around him, but that is back markers, not they're not racing him. 39 seconds to Paymay, still that 40-second gap. So it's still maintaining the same. So we've still got 40 seconds, 25 to Aslan. James trying to close that gap. Naughty not finding, he's not going to be able to catch James. James he's not dipping into the 44s quite as much now, but that'll be because they're on those medium compound tyres. So yeah, I love you, Lil Nicky. Yeah, it's not that I couldn't, it's that I would get murdered, and I don't really want to get murdered, particularly because I'd quite like to come back for stint 12 and do a bit of the run-in with Jaeger for that final stint. I'll tell you what would be quite cool, actually, if we can get a few of the broadcasters in, not necessarily for the whole of the final stint, but certainly for the last few lap run-in would be pretty cool. I'm not going to join in from the beginning. I'll probably jump in about halfway through that final stint. But if you guys want to kind of get involved, it's funny how you kind of plan that I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and it all goes to shit when you're really tired, doesn't it? Yeah. But thanks, Nicky, and obviously thanks for your assistance with broadcasting area as well, covering for Ponyboy, who turned out wasn't linked to the YouTuber anymore. I hope that's been sorted, actually, because Ponyboy is due to do stint 11. I think that'll probably be my first job before I get an hour's sleep, is to check that he's still doing stint 11. And I don't want to do that one either. But there we go. It is what it is. Is what it is. So shall we look at where everyone is in comparison to where they qualified? Let's do that, shall we? What I'm going to do is I'm going to Right, there we go. Let's bring it up. That's the grid there. So, Esports Race Asylum started on pole. They are currently leading this race. Race Asylum number 2. They started in second. They are currently running in third position there with Ost. Apex Hunter Racing. They started on row 2 in third. Currently down in 7th with James right there. Overboost started in 4th. They're currently running in 2nd with Neo, so a couple of places gained for them. Sector 7 Racing number 2. Really good job by Monkey Man Macho, but and it is a big but, he picked up some damage. He made his pit stop onto the medium compound tyres. This is way back in Stint 1. Got a bit of damage, had to pit again. Did put on the soft compound tyres, but it cost him a number of places. He was battling at that time for a place in the top 3. But they're down now with Aero in 9th position. So some places lost there. Syndicate Racing started alongside them. And Omen's in the pits. Why is he in the pits? Because he needed to pit. That would kind of explain why. So where is Syndicate Racing? Let's find them. That's it's not Roadrunner, is it? It's Omen. No, it's not Omen. It's the MRL. Where have they gone? Oh, it's McNaughty, isn't it? There we go. McNaughty there in 8th. So they've lost a few places. Race Asylum number 2 is there. Paymay in that Lexus. Doing a really, really good job up in 4th. And I am acutely aware that that's... Let me move that, actually. Let me move that over there. That's better, isn't it? See a bit better now. Let me have a little adjustment. Look at this, look. On the fly, like a pro and everything. Okay, so we can still see what's going on. Sexy Rexy. They qualified in that Sexy Rexy car last minute racing. On row 4, so that would be in 8th position, just outside that top 7 shootout. I think it was Rosie that did the qualifying, back in 14th at the moment, but that is due to disconnection, which has moved them to the back. So it's a bit of work to do to catch up for them. Sector 7 number 1. They've gained some positions. They started in 9th, didn't have the greatest of qualifying, but now they're Mazda up into 5th, so a big 4-place gain for them. Vortex Racing, that is currently being driven by not Ghost, yeah, it is Ghost, isn't it? Vortex, yeah. So Vortex Racing currently driven by Ghost. They qualified in 10th, currently running in 11th, so they're all thereabouts, flitting around where they qualified. Roadrunner Junior, of course, is just behind him, and funnily enough was just behind them in qualifying, ready to race a team up there. Loose Moose Racing, they're up here somewhere. Where are they? There they are. That's Loose Moose Racing. So they qualified in 12th and currently running in 6th. They're the big winners thus far. The 2 Medway teams, we've got Medway number 1 in the Vodafone livery. That's currently being driven by Guelph there, running in... It is Guelph, isn't it? Could be wrong. Yeah, it is Guelph there. Running in 10th place, and MRL number 2 in that Mustang Salier. Qualified 14th, running in 13th. There we go. There's the run down Pop Pickers. How'd you like them apples? Got no chance of catching up. Need a miracle. Listen, miracles have happened. Let's talk about some of the miracles that have happened over the last 8 stints that I've been privy to. We've seen a 40-second lead immediately wiped out and turned into what is currently a 7th place run with James or James for a disconnection. We have seen 2 other disconnections, which has forced cars to the back, finalised being one of them back in 14th. We have seen an 11-second lead in the space of 2 hours turned into 55. Well, it was 55 seconds. And Gecko Racer, I've got to mention this, has done an absolute sterling job. He picked this up from Evo at 55 seconds, and as we head towards the end here, still around 55 seconds. What Ray said, Nicky, what Ray said, we love you, man. We love you lots and lots. Yeah, he's managed to maintain that 55 seconds. So, in terms of miracle, Evo certainly put in a miracle lap there. We saw Monkey Man Macho in Stint 1. He was flicking around that top 3. Then a little error on the medium compound tyres, and all of a sudden, now look, down in 9th place is that Sector 17. So, look, there is still plenty of races to do. We're only on Stint 8 of 12 with 2/3 of the way through. Hello, Yupe. Good morning to you. Yes. You're right, Nicky. Absolutely mega job from Gecko. Sometimes, let's not take away from the absolute stonking effort that Evo put in, because he did drag that gap from 11 seconds to 55 seconds. But actually, sometimes this kind of as you say, flawless drive, this kind of drive that Gecko's put in, it's a consolidation drive for ERA. It's taken what Gecko has done, and rather than push the car to its limit, he has started dipping into those 44s. They've come out there. They've let the flair players, they've let the kind of messes of the team, like Nick and like Evo, to smash out those crazy hot laps, and then come in and just consolidated and kept the team's position, kept them in a place of strength, and then lined it up ready for the next driver to come in. Very good discipline as well. So we're on lap 62 of 69, actually 68 laps. So just a few laps now for Gecko and Neo to do. You're right, because when you got to think, I mean, the outgoing driver has had that rhythm. They've been getting the car around the track, found the rhythm, found that kind of line, and then maintain it. And you're asking someone to come in, cold tyres, and after doing, being up, a lot of these people have been up all night, or only a couple of hours sleep, really trying to focus on getting up to speed and keeping that going. So credit to Gecko. Credit as well to let's not forget the Portuguese guys. Overboost have been phenomenal as well. They've been sort of matching really, lap for lap. And I think the only real fundamental difference has been the alien inputs from ERA to open up that gap again. But every single driver from ORT has come in and pretty much matched lap for lap what those guys are doing. And of course, you've got to bear in mind as well that without that disconnection from Tank Pro, we could be looking at potentially still a 3-way fight for the lead. And we've still got plenty of time. It's not over yet. I personally can't see past ERA and ORT as the top two. And based on the last couple of stints, certainly can't see past the ERA taking this all the way. But I have seen things happen over the course of the last 16 hours. How long? 16 hours almost. That convinced me that it still could be an ORT win. They only need to have one driver come in and do exactly what Evo did in that last stint, and all of a sudden we're back racing again for the lead. So yeah, it's gonna be an exciting run in, and of course the beautiful dulcet tones of my colonial cousin Brohawk DJ will be bringing you through the next 2 hours after this. So lap 64 of 69 for Gecko, just 4 laps remaining before we see him pull in, and then it's handover time, baby. Well, not quite. I'll still have another 13 minutes before I can officially sign off and say thank you very much for joining me. So this is how the rest of the broadcast schedule looks. I'll be signing off at the end of this and handing over to DJ Brohawk. He will be handing over to the wonderful, gorgeous, very good looking, rugged little Nicky. That's how appreciative I am that I don't have to do another stint. This is my fourth, to be fair. He will be handing over, as far as I'm aware, to Ponyboy for stint 11. That'll be at coming up to 11 o'clock this morning, and then the final run-in with the one, the only, the Jaeger bomb, Jägermeister himself, the German crooner of love songs, will be joining you for that final stint to take you on that final 2-hour run-in to 3 o'clock. I will jump in at some stage and give him some colour, and we could, if we can get a couple of others as well, that'd be awesome. We didn't get any Toasty today. We wanted some Toasty, but Toasty not well. So hence the reason you've had me for 8 hours. That's 8 hours of your life you're never getting back. I've stolen it from you, and I'm keeping it all for myself. There's still a lot to play for, Janie. You know, we've had a couple of quiet stints where not much has happened, but we've also had some stints where loads and loads and loads have happened. Don't anyone that's thinking that. Well, let's be fair. You can't think about giving up. You're 2/3 into a 24-hour race. You might as well finish now. Right, so. Roadrunner and Ghost is down to 1.5 seconds. I did say earlier I thought this was going to be a battle. For a while it looked like it might not be, but now it is, and Roadrunner is on a charge. Medium tyres for Ghost as well. It's kind of an opposite from the first few laps where Ghost was on those grippier soft compound tyres chasing down Roadrunner. Now the table has turned. Roadrunner did have a little crash early on, which it means that this has taken a lot more time than he would have liked. But here he comes now. He's got blue flags coming for him. We'll have a look back to see how far those are. He's still a ways back yet, but it looks like Ghost now is the one that's got to worry about Roadrunner. So this actually is the epitome of a lot to play for, because Ghost took Roadrunner's position away lap 5, I think it was, lap 5 or 6, and then Roadrunner had his little crash and found himself back 15 seconds back. I think actually he had Omen in between himself and Ghost at one stage, but he stuck it out. He kept putting the laps in, kept putting the work in, stuck to his game plan. Gelf into the pits. That'll be to run the medium compound tyre. He hasn't run yet. That is, well, I was going to say they're going to wait until after the bus stop, but Roadrunner is not hanging about. Ghost was defiantly defending that inside line, and Roadrunner just said thank you very much, and replay's still not working, unfortunately. Ghost says thank you very much. I'll just go around the outside and take 11th place. So tables have turned from the beginning of the race. So we're back to how we were when we started this stint, well, the question is going to be whether Ghost can keep up with him in that 911. It is 911 versus 911 as well. Whether Ghost can keep up with him on those medium tyres and find the grip. But it would, the fact that Roadrunner has hunted him down, caught him, and got past would suggest not. And Ghost is going to be the first one that's going to need to concede for the on-rushing, lapping cars coming at them at a rapid rate. So that's done and dusted. We're back to gaps. Right, Gecko Racer, lap 67, just a couple of laps remaining. Where's Brohawk? Is he coming to join me in the maybe he's not coming to join me in the chat. Maybe he's done with listening to me talk. I haven't done a handover. It's too complicated to do it now. I'm not going to start trying to put a handover screen together at this late stage with Brohawk. So he's not. Hopefully he'll jump in soon because they will be lined up and ready. And of course, I don't know who's coming out for Gecko Racer next, but he has essentially a lap and a bit, or a lap and 2 sectors to go before he can down his tools, breathe a sigh of relief, and hand the baton on to the next ERA driver. Who if you want to discover who that is, you can nip over to the Stint 9 stream, which is I think it's going to be live now. I suppose I could do the sensible thing, which is to open it and have a look, couldn't I? Well, I say sensible thing. I really shouldn't be broadcasting and trying to watch that at the same time. Let's have a little look. You see, right? Stint 9 is live. Indeed, it is live.
Indeed, it is live, and I'm in here with you.
Oh, he's here. He has arrived. I wonder when he was coming. Hey, how you doing, DJ?
Good morning, my friend. I'm doing well. I am exhausted, but we're gonna make it through the next 2 hours, and then I can go to sleep.
That. I had a little snooze in between my last my Stint 6 and this one, and I think it actually might have done me more harm than good. Because it's taught me that there is sleep and it's nice. Whereas I think if I just stuck the pot of coffee on an hour earlier and just braved it out, I think I'd probably be in a better condition now. But I do get a bit of a rest now. You've put in some awesome work for AHR over the last couple of stints you've done, and it's put James in the position he's in now, which is P7. That's a good recovery from you guys.
Yeah. So my goal with all the chaos that went on with tank bro disconnecting and all is I wanted to hand the car off in a better spot than when I got it. And I had 2 really good stints. I was super happy with them. That's probably the best I've driven in this game, actually. And a lot of it was just, like I said, just putting my head down and putting the laps in. And naturally, when you can pass to a very capable driver like James, it's the pressure is off me. You know, I just have to get the car to him.
Yeah, he's put in some stonk in that. He really has put in a massive shift there, and it's a shame that you put in a shift like that and you're rewarded with. Well, I suppose considering where you were, being 7th is a reward, but knowing that he can do laps like that, it's such a shame what happened to Tank way back when.
It is, and the team, we try, I don't want to say we don't take it seriously because we do, but we try not to get caught up in this kind of thing. We are in this to have fun and have a good time and race with each other. So it's one of those things where it's like, it's just bad luck and unfortunate, and it's a testament to us not giving up. James is doing 44s on the mediums. Like I don't even know what kind of magic he casts on his car. But it's just a testament to, it's just a testament to us as a team not giving up when adversity hits. It's a good life lesson in a way. But I'm really proud of the guys.
It is. There's a few people saying, we've been back in 12, 13, 14, but that is a lesson that it doesn't. So much can happen. I mean, 24 hours in the scheme of things isn't a long time, but it is when you think about. We're talking about. Tenths of seconds. When you're talking in terms of tenths of seconds between cars, 24 hours is a very long time, and an awful lot can happen. Gecko Racer in, and he's downing tools, so you've got your first driver on his way out on the track with
Evo
Neo.
is out.
Neo just coming in now, so we should see who's following on. Who's in the race asylum car for you?
So it's Evo. He's back in the car. He was in the stint that I was in, or one of the stints I was in. I was driving. So
so he was the one that took the car with 11 seconds as the gap and put it to 55 for Gecko to maintain. That's Neo in now. Who's coming out for Overboost?
I believe that is Pyrex.
Pyrex was in that last stint as well, wasn't he? So
Yep.
Okay, so let's assume that order is restored from stint 7. We should expect at the end of this stint you're on for ERA to potentially be 2 minutes clear. Wow.
Could very well be. Yeah.
That Evo's something different, isn't he?
Oh man, the Race Asylum has a lot of talented people. He is definitely at or near the top of all of them that they have. Just an absolutely incredible player. Like, puts down times, and I I consider myself a decent player, but he'll put down times where I'm just like, I don't even understand how he got the car to go that fast around the track. It's incredible.
And it's not just he's fast over one lap. He'll do it, and then he'll do it again and again and again, and make it infinitely repeatable. Yeah, I was saying earlier that if this was the Middle Ages, he would have been burnt as a witch.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Ost coming in now from third. It's interesting actually because for a while it was the kind of 1, 2, 3 had a similar gap, but Payme over stint 6 and this stint here has done an absolutely, and it's in, and you called it yesterday, the day before yesterday now, in qualifying with the Lexus. He's got that car up to fourth. He comes in now 31 seconds back off of a potential podium here. So it's really, he's really got that Lexus moving and singing at the moment.
Yeah, he's had 2 incredible stints. Like, he's had that Lexus absolutely flying. It's been very impressive to watch.
Yeah, on the money, absolutely on the money. Mazda as well has done a really good job for Sector 7. They started actually further, but the Sector 7 number 1 team started further back than their number 2 team, but they've turned it around and got up into that top 5, and it's only 40 seconds behind fourth. And I was sort of doing a little bit of kind of mental math, which is quite hard at 7 o'clock in the morning. Actually, I did the math about 5 o'clock in the morning, but
right.
Quite hard to do at this time of the morning. But it is still possible for anyone from sort of even as far down as James in 7th to still get that podium, because the gap isn't huge over the course of the next sort of 8 hours we've got. So anything can happen, and I think they're still fighting.
Yep. I think they're all on the same lap too, from P3 to P8. I think they're all on the same lap. It's certainly
pretty
close.
Pretty much, yeah. So yeah, Ost, May, Mazda, Aslan and James are. To say they're a lap down isn't the right expression. They're kind of about half a lap behind.
Right.
So yeah. Yes, Aslan
Sharky
is in. So that's Sharky out for Mazda. Sharky had such a good stint 6, but a spin cost them big time actually, because he was very comfortably in 4th and chasing down 3rd a couple of stints ago. But he had a spin which ended up, I think he dropped down to 6th. So they've managed to get themselves back up into 5th position. So he's got some work to do. But if he can do the same again without the spin, it could be the start of that fight. James in now as well, and it's Lucas now, isn't it?
Lucas is in. For us, it's Jack.
Oh right,
Belfast Bap. Jack. Yep.
He had a really good. Did he? I'm trying to remember now.
Yeah, he was stint 2.
Yeah, he was stint 2.
He was the one I streamed earlier. Yeah, he put in a shift, a really good shift as well.
He got you guys into the lead, didn't he? Because you were in the lead at the end of stint 2.
Yep.
McNaughty's in for Syndicates, and Aero just coming in now for Sector 7.
So Evo is just now into what I call turn 2, the first right-hander.
Yeah, that's definitely turn 2.
Yeah. Turn 2, quote unquote, and he is right behind P8. Wow. So from P3 to P8 are all on the same lap.
Yeah, I would hazard a guess that we might see some battles in that final 12th stint. We might see some cars just pushing that little bit harder, and being that it's the last stint, and maybe get some good battles in there for the final run-in. I think we can safely say at this stage that it's the lead of this race is between ERA and Overboost, and I think with Evo going in now. And no disrespect to Overboost at all, because they're very talented, but Evo being as clinical as he is, I think he's going to give them such a big lead. It's going to be quite hard for for them to surpass that. It's going to be somewhere near 2 minutes if Stint 7 was anything to go by.
Right. If things hold as they did previously, absolutely. But yeah, it's tough knowing that your opponents, you're sitting in P2 and you feel good, and it's tough knowing that your opponents have a player like Evo they can throw out there and just know that it's going to be quite a challenge to make up any ground at all.
Well, I was talking about that a little bit earlier, actually, because you kind of look at the you look at the performances between ERA and ORT, and it's been very much a case of matching each other lap for lap, and then the one game changer. So it's almost like, you're watching Barcelona and Real Madrid play each other, but without their star players, and then one of them brings in the Lionel Messi or the Cristiano Ronaldo for that. You get that extra flair, that extra zhuzh, and it's been ERA that managed to do that so far.
Yep, yeah, it has. That's a great analogy. I appreciate that. Messi was certainly one of those players where it was just like make something out of nothing and completely change a game.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I certainly appreciate that reference. But I mean, for us, for like my team, I look at James that way. Also, good morning, James. Welcome to the chat. I'm going to gush about you some more live on 2 streams. When you have that player that's just a notch above, like in that higher tier of player, it's kind of a good feeling. Like for me, I get to hand the car to someone who's freaking awesome, and I know he's going to do awesome things with the car. It's just, it's kind of a nice feeling as a teammate, because it's like you got like that Lionel Messi, so I appreciate having teammates that are that talented. It makes me, it makes me want to drive better too, because it's like I got to do my part, get it to them in one piece.
You want to make sure you do the best you can to put them in a position to make up those extra places, the ones that you might not necessarily be able to catch, but if you put them close enough, you put them in a position to be able to do that.
Absolutely, because not everybody can be the fastest, right? That's just reality. And so for me, I know I'm never probably going to be the fastest in any given race, but if I can do my job and put my team in a position to succeed, one of my teammates that is extra talented can take what I've done and amplify it with their ability. So that's the idea anyway.
Well, I mean, that's what these events are about. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a team competition that you can have the fastest driver in the world, but if you haven't got a team of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 drivers behind them, prepared to put the effort in, put the work in, put the hours in, it's all for nothing.
Yep.
So Roadrunner just coming around now and finally making it into the pits. I mean, that was some way 3 minutes 38 seconds behind Gelfi is at the moment, which is insane, absolutely insane. But yeah, so he's round. Ghost coming in as well, just 5 seconds between them. Interesting, I don't know if you saw the battle between those two, is Roadrunner came out on the medium tyres ahead of Ghost. Ghost came out on the softs. By lap 5 he'd caught Roadrunner, disappeared off up the road. Roadrunner had a little smash and dropped back a couple of places, and almost 5 laps before the end the tables turned. Ghost now on the medium tyres, Roadrunner on the softs, caught him, got that position back, and they finished the stint as they started in 11th and 12th, exactly the same position, with a couple of overtakes along the way.
I did see a little bit of that. I had the stream up while I was trying to help. I wasn't keeping James awake, but I was kind of keeping him company in the party chat because it was just the two of us. But I did have the stream on one of my screens, and yeah, it was a pretty interesting battle they had going on there, and it's probably not over.
No, I don't think it is. We've got some good drivers coming out for them over the next. Ghost has been phenomenal considering the position they're in. You can put in some great times. That's Omen in for MRL, and then we're just going to have a bit of a wait for finalised. He's still. He's just coming up to the bus stop on lap 67, so about a lap and a half left for him. 13 minutes off the lead. That's the only bad thing about the handovers. The handovers for stint 1, 2 and 3, pretty simple. Bish bash bosh, we're done. Now we've got a good sort of 15-minute, 20-minute conversation while they all get handed over and swap out.
Yep. It'd be like that sometimes, as they say.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I do have to give them some props, though. You know, I think sometimes we think about being competitors and can be really frustrating when you're 10 plus minutes behind. But I want to give props to everybody in the race who, even if, you know, the disconnections and things like that, everybody's still here. All 14 teams are still here, so
it is phenomenal. And I think that, you know, sometimes I think that goes unappreciated because, you know, we're gushing about people like Evo and like James and Gecko and Neo and Austin, these guys that are putting in these crazy times and putting in the big effort, when actually we should be gushing just as much about people like Finalized, who he's a good 3 minutes behind the car that's been sitting in the pits, and his teammates going to be sitting there itching to go, and they're hanging around. They're not, you know, they could have said, you know what, we're 3 minutes behind, and we've seen it before in endurance races where teams go, oh, we're too far behind, we're not going to bother to continue. But you know, they're not doing that. They're saying, look, you know, we're in it for 24 hours and we're staying in it for 24 hours. And I actually hope one of these teams that are at the back are rewarded, and I don't wish ill on anybody, of course, but are rewarded for that perseverance by getting something out of it, because down the line something else has happened.
Yep. Yeah, I get what you mean, and this is valuable experience too. It's all a part of the experience. You know, you're getting laps on this track. I mean, this is my favorite track, so I drive on this track all the time. So, you know, Daytona is a big part of endurance racing, so other leagues will use this track. Even this league next year will probably use this track. So it's still valuable experience on this track. So even if the result of this isn't what you want, it is still a good experience. You get to practice the handoffs, you get to practice blue flag overtakes, you get to practice things like that. So there is some value in it, even if you're not doing as well as you might have hoped.
Absolutely. And let's face it, they qualified for this competition where Black Flag didn't, so they're saving us from being last. That's one way to look at it. The bright side all the time. So that's finalised in. We're just waiting for him to reach his pit box, and then I can hand you the baton, and then and go and have a lay down and a little bit of a cry. All right, so there we go, done and dusted. Enjoy the next 2 hours with my brother from another mother. Have fun, DJ, and we'll catch up later. If you are still about, I'm thinking it'd be good if we could all jump in with Jaeger for the last sort of half an hour of the final stint, and have a sort of mass commentator gathering for that stint. If you're not racing, of course.
I'll have to see what time it is. I may be passed out in my bed at that point. We'll see.
All right. Listen. Have a great broadcast, and we'll catch up soon, man.
Cheers, my friend. Appreciate it.
Right, I'm done. You can all disappear now over to. There's only 9 of you left. Right. Thank you very much for joining me, guys. It's been emotional, very, very emotional. Go and join DJ. Give him some company. Give him some love. Thank you very much for sticking it out. Goodbye.